Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're tackling a topic that, let's be honest, probably gives a lot of us a tiny bit of anxiety: large scale job displacement. I mean, everywhere you look right now, right? Headlines are screaming about AI, automation, and outsourcing wiping out entire industries overnight. But look, we aren't going to do prediction theater today. No crystal balls. Instead, we are going to build a completely new mental model to actually understand the structural mechanics of how work changes. Okay, so the big question, are robots coming for your job? The surface level fear is always that, a robot literally rolls in, sits at your desk, drinks out of your coffee mug, and you're out on the street. But that fundamentally misunderstands what a job actually is. So instead of asking if your job will be replaced, we really need to ask how it's going to be reorganized. See, a job is not just one fixed, single object. It's actually a bundle of tasks held together by economics, tools, and institutions. Think of work kind of like a city map. When a city grows, the roads don't just magically disappear. Some get widened, some get rerouted, maybe some new paths pop up. The city itself is still there. The traffic just moves differently. Jobs work the exact same way. The tasks, those are the traffic. To break this down, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Why work actually changes. 2. The engines of displacement. 3. Reorganizing after a shock. And 4. Where human value survives. Section 1. Why work actually changes. The economics of tasks. The fundamental truth you've got to grasp here is that work never stays still. And that's because every single job sits inside a constantly shifting economic system. Which brings us to our anchor thesis for this whole explainer. Jobs change when the cost of doing tasks changes. It's that simple. When a specific task becomes easier, cheaper, or faster to do, its economic value completely shifts. This one single idea explains automation, it explains outsourcing, and it even explains why the jobs we think are quote-unquote future-proof are sometimes actually the most vulnerable. Moving right along to Section 2, the engines of displacement, 4 forces reshaping work. Let's look at the actual physical laws that force these tasks to move around. So, there are 4 main forces at play here. First up, better tools. Better tools reduce effort. Think about it. If a line cook gets a much faster stove, the kitchen still serves the same number of meals, but they just need fewer hands to do it. Second, standardization. A vending machine doesn't replace a cashier because it's some genius AI, right? It replaces them because it doesn't need a coffee break and the transaction itself is perfectly predictable. Third is scale. A recorded lesson can reach thousands of students instantly. The system beats the head count. And finally, fourth, coordination reduction. When software cuts out those endless email chains and all that management overhead, smaller teams can suddenly do the work of an entire department. Ultimately, jobs shrink when the task bundle can be delivered with less human labor. Notice the phrasing there, though. It does not say humans become useless. Technology simply lowers the cost of the task. It absolutely does not lower human worth. All right, Section 3, reorganizing after a shock, trimming the edges. What actually happens when a massive new AI tool hits a job? Because this is where the real reorganization happens. Well, when organizations feel pressure, they rarely just delete a whole job title overnight. The job actually changes in layers. First, the predictable, repetitive tasks are the ones to get automated. Then, the coordination tasks, the endless handoffs, the scheduling, those get compressed into software. What's left for the human? The judgment tasks, the messy, real-world exceptions. Think of a job kind of like a tree being pruned. After a big shock hits, the trunk, the job title, is still standing, but a lot of the branches get cut back. The internal structure is permanently rewritten. And this creates a massive paradigm shift. The center of the job moves when the edges are removed. So your title might stay exactly the same, but your day-to-day content completely transformed. Let's put this into perspective. Let's look at Maya. She works in a logistics company. Before a technology shock, she spent all day manually tracking shipments, just doing routine updates. Then the company adopts this flashy new real-time routing software. At first glance, it looks like her job was totally replaced. But Maya is actually still there. Her center of gravity has just completely shifted. Because the routine stuff is gone, she now spends her time handling the exceptions, the unexpected delays, the angry clients. Her job is now almost entirely about human judgment. We also have to remember this kind of subtle truth. A task isn't gone just because it left the payroll. Sometimes tasks aren't actually automated. They just get pushed outward. Take travel agents. They didn't vanish entirely. The actual labor of booking just moved to apps and self-service systems. The labor moved from employee time to customer time. It's this quiet reorganization that gets hidden by accounting. Which brings us to Section 4, where human value survives, the new lens. Because once you start seeing work as this shifting mix of tasks rather than rigid titles, honestly, everything changes. As the neat machine-friendly layers of a job are peeled away, the system aggressively starts selecting for much messier human traits. The new human value isn't about speed or memory anymore. It's about judgment under uncertainty, it's trust, synthesis, adaptation, and relationship management. Because let's face it, algorithms are terrible at office politics. We become highly valuable exactly in the areas that resist neat packaging, and this shows us exactly what skills are actually resilient. Which leaves us with this final, really powerful question. Is AI taking your job or just rearranging your tasks? You've got a completely new lens now. You don't have to panic every single time a new tool is announced. Instead, you can step back and ask, okay, which tasks just got cheaper, and how will my organization rearrange the rest? You can diagnose these work systems instead of just fearing them. Keep your eyes on the tasks, and you will always see the true future of work.